The Xbox Game Showcase has just concluded and Infinity Ward shared their first reveal of Modern Warfare 4 and DMZ gameplay, and I have to say, I'm really excited for October. In this video, I'm going to go over the highlights and get you up to speed on what has changed since DMZ version 1, so you know what to expect when you infill for the first time into Hajin in DMZ Season 1. So let's get started with the map, Hajin. It's going to be more complex, and it's the biggest map Infinity Ward have ever made, so it will be much bigger than Verdansk or Al Mazrah. Hajin is said to cover South Korea to the south, and a small portion of North Korea to the north of the map. Now also, according to some other content creators that were part of a creator call with Infinity Ward recently, Russia is also featured in a very small portion of the map, which seems to be the snowy mountainous area at the top. I published a video the other day where we were given a sneak peek at the minimap of Hajin, and it's quite small, but you can just about see the snow base region in the north, so that's probably where the Russian landmass is going to be located. Next up is a big change coming to DMZ2, and that's bosses with the introduction of lieutenants, which can command groups of bots in certain areas. We'll also see roaming commanders like juggernauts and tanks, plus the commander helo apparently makes a return as well. According to the COD blog, enemy bots will defend the places they're in, but will also hunt you if you're nearby and have accrued a high star rating, which comes from fighting bots and players alike. They also mention a stealth meter, which seems to be a new way of managing how loud you're being in a certain area and whether bots will notice you or if you try and sneak by them. I quite like the idea of a reputation style mechanic in DMZ, where if you want to go into lots of gunfights and be loud, you can, but you'll also make things harder for yourself compared to if you just want to go about your business quietly. The next thing that we need to talk about is the Forward Operating Base, or FOB for short, which will act as your central hub for everything before you jump into a new match. Now this FOB will feel familiar at first because the blog says that you'll be able to check on outstanding missions, look at previously completed objectives, and also manage your inventory. However, there's some obviously big changes that I find really interesting here. Firstly, you'll be able to manage the items that you take out of a DMZ match with a new inventory system, so if you extract with a full bag, they don't just disappear at the end screen and get turned into XP. You'll also have a wallet system like we have now, so you can save up money and come back prepared to buy stuff in your next match as well. One thing that I'm not too sure on at the minute is the introduction of a 3D printer, a gunsmith and a weapon vendor. The new 3D printing system will allow you to craft items to take into your next match by using items gathered in your previous matches. It sounds interesting, but I'm not sure exactly how important it'll end up being. It seems like bartering for items, but in the menu instead, and I suppose you'll be able to craft special items that you wouldn't be able to find during a match. The blog is a bit vague here, which is understandable, but I'm not sure what you'd likely need to craft before heading back into Hajin if you can find most stuff in a match. We also have the Gunsmith and Weapon Vendor, which I get the feeling is going to replace the insured weapon system. Now, you'll need to buy, sell and trade weapons and attachments rather than just being able to create any weapon you want and take it in with you. One of the best things about DMZ was it let you bring in any weapon that you wanted, whether it's custom made or a blueprint, and then you could just use it until you lose it. I'm getting the impression here that we'll get a little bit less choice with exactly what weapons we can take in with us, particularly if we have no money to spend. However, following on from the weaponry available to us, we also have a new firing range, which will be a place that we can visit in the FOB, which is not in and of itself overly interesting, as we've already had a firing range before, but as the FOB will act as a sort of pre-game lobby with your friends, it'll be interesting to try out your whole loadout with each other at the same time. And lastly in the FOB will be the boss board and bounty leaderboards. Now the boss board seems to be a catalogue of all the bosses that are available in the DMZ to fight, which will earn you rewards for killing them and extracting their own dog tags to prove that you've done it. On top of that, the bounty leaderboard is apparently a new weekly leaderboard tracking the most hostile players in the DMZ. People that engage in PvP the most will be placed on the weekly leaderboard and will get marked as a bounty in-game and will end up being hunted until they're finally killed. Moving on to the progression side of things, DMZ will have its own leveling system that will be independent from multiplayer. The way Infinity Ward explained it was that there's going to be a DMZ rank that'll increase based on your lifetime performance across the mode, but I also have a feeling that your overall global rank for multiplayer and eventually Warzone will also be tied to that as well. When you jump into a new match, you'll again be able to select one of your active duty operators, but this time around if you die and don't get revived, you won't lose all of your progress. A new feature, which is the MIA system, is if you die, you'll have the option to essentially rescue your last operator for a fee, which means you won't have constant resets every time you die. I feel like this might be an amazing feature and something that will be really valuable for people to try and do to retain upgraded operators, so I'm really excited to see how this works. And that's pretty much every major change coming to DMZ this October. I've not covered literally everything there is to talk about because there is just so much included in this new version of DMZ. Having said all that though, I'll continue to keep you guys updated with what's changing and any news we get over the coming months before launch. So with all that said, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be covering DMZ a lot on the channel leading up to the launch of Modern Warfare 4 and of course over the next year as well. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and comment down below what you're most excited for in DMZ 2, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Goodbye!